All right, so let's make a formal introduction for our listener. Good afternoon, Steve. My name is Claudio. I'm calling you from Washington, D.C., from the studios in Fairfax City. We're very humble and grateful that Steve Schroyder accepted our invitation to the show. Steve, welcome to the show, man.
Welcome, Claudia. I'm like to see you.
Steve. So whatever you say, let's go from the beginning. Whatever you saying that is going on, a weird year for everybody with the vaccine, the pandemic, the lockdown. People can know go outside. The tour counts. How you manage? How is your sanity, your life, man?
Oh, it's nothing really changed so much. Only in the outer being of giving concerts and so that really stopped. And but so I have time to concentrate on the music in our studio. And as now we have with Dream Control, I got a thing to do for the anniversary of my hometown Freiburg, which is the 900 years anniversary of Freiburg, and so we planned a big show in 2020, and this was cancelled, and somehow it was all delayed in time and put on 21 now.
Yeah.
And right now it's happening in about in 1 week. We have an online concert to show everything, and then we have a real concert in the open air 2 weeks later after that. So this is all, after this 2 years of lay down, we finally have the chance to present the new music. And what I was doing for this is I was filming, running around in my hometown and making very special films about life in Freiburg. And this completely changed, so I saw it very directly and had a good effort on our film material. For there are no people in the streets, and you see all the things of this town very clearly, and you don't have to camouflage faces or car. For the film, you have to always hide faces, which
Sure.
which are somehow in the recording of the film, And so it was a good opportunity to have no faces somehow and only have the architecture. It's amazing film material. So
Right.
it's kind of a sad story because there are no people which make out the life of a city somehow. But it's really in a way of documentary, it's amazing, and in a way of work for the construction of Freiburg. It's
Yeah.
it's
And then you
good
plan to
opportunity.
present the video in the background as you are playing with Dream
That's how it
Control.
was planned. It was planned like a big event
Yeah.
on a main town place, and
Yeah.
with different screens and monitors in the like an video architecture itself in the. Well, we planned so many things. We had really a dream, about this,
I
and
know.
now it's happening on a small monitor
Yeah.
online. In a time when people they really get how to say they really don't like online anymore. They like to go outside now for things are opening now, and it's very
Yeah.
tricky, Anyway.
I got you. So let's go back to the beginning. Were you born like in a musical family? When you began playing piano or guitar, how old were you? You learned that in school?
Yes, I was. Let's say it was a musical family. For we had a piano at home. I had a 6 years older sister who was playing piano as well and was challenging me for playing the piano as well to do it the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
And my mother, she was very musically, I think. She played harmonica, she was singing, like, but only just in family, not professional, not in
Yeah.
any way. And I always remember this. My father was a watchmaker, and in his workshop there were all this clocks and watches ticking, which he should repair. There were about 100 watches and clocks running all through in this workshop, and there was always a noise of tick 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 tick, and always different, like
Sure.
synchronization about this never took place. It was only a confused ticking about this, and I think I liked this very much. I spent a long time in looking how they repaired things, and was doing it as well, repairing watches, just breaking them out. And so with 5 or so, I started piano lessons. Even before I got to go to school, I got piano lessons, and yeah, I really liked music, and had first things in my classroom to play the piano for all the people, and then very soon I had a group, like with 11 or 12. We made first songs, guy playing guitar, and we two were singing,
Yeah.
and we heard music in the radio, and we tried to put another words on this kind of stuff, and we even were invited, I think it was I was 13 or something like this, to a contest, to a music contest somewhere outside, but I was too young. My parents didn't allow it for they music was don't earn your money by making music. It's not a good bread, people said in that day. It was a very small village I was born in, very far away from any big city.
Yeah.
And so after this invitation, I couldn't go there, but I had a school band then later, and it was a time even another guy in that school, he was thrown out of school before he was playing in a beat band, on Sunday afternoon or so. This was very delicate for the teachers and not allowed in this very
Small village. Yeah.
small village, and yeah, these people, they didn't like it. They were very queer.
Yeah. So when you
So
go ahead.
yeah, and
And yeah, and so and then by the time you were, I don't know, finishing high school, you needed to kind of uh what they call here in Germany gymnasium.
yeah,
You needed to either decide go to school, right, or music, and it was a difficult decision for you to make when you needed to make the decision.
it was very hard to in the gym when all my companions of the band, they were preparing for the last test on school,
Yeah.
and I think, what are they thinking of? We got a chance to play in the next big city, we have a
Sure.
concert there, we could play there. And you learn for school. What are you doing? We just make music. Music is it what we want to do. And so I was very angry about everybody in this village. And yeah, I went to after school. I went to Berlin for sure. I had no idea what to do. It was not my idea to make music. Somehow was like people saying it. It was no good idea to be a professional musician. There wasn't even a meaning of this word professional musician.
Sure.
This was uh, this was more, if you play music, you're more than a revolutionary, something like this. You're against all society and all the meanings of this society, and you're against it somehow. So I try to, and first, yeah, I try to study. I wanted to study, and my other interest is the theater. So I thought, okay, I'm theater is a good thing. I get a regisseur, So I study like theater science and art and things like this. And I went to Berlin. This is a quite change for a boy from the countryside to go to Berlin,
Yeah.
which in that days I always thought it's like 2 years difference in the heads of the people in Berlin or in this village, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a meaning of time, you know. The people are not update in those days. Today it's much not more like that for internet, everything, media. But you remember we're talking about the 60s,
Yeah.
and it was very behind the countryside.
Got the countryside. And then you began when you discovered like from pianos to synthesizers. When do you begin learning how to play keyboards and the different than piano? And
Okay, this happened much later. For first, there was in this. I skipped the piano
yeah,
when I joined the group after 8 years, something like piano lessons.
yeah,
Yeah, 6 8 years. For then I just sang or I played the bass guitar, you know, something. And in
yeah,
Berlin, when I go to Berlin, I thought, okay, I have to search for a new group. I have to find people. For it was no idea of making music on my own. Couldn't imagine like this. So I got a flute. I
yeah.
played the flute and tried to find people to make music with, but was not really. I didn't progress in that really, and so it was more or less a vague idea of making music or something else. And in this way, 69, a friend and me studying in another day, he invited me to. He'd say, "Hey, let's go to India in semester feria, you know, in the semester season." And there completely changed my head and everything. And I came back from India and I just want to make music or I want to get a farmer.
Yeah.
And so when I was back in Berlin, I realized, okay, I will make music.
Gotcha.
That's my way. And then I got myself a electronic organ.
Yeah.
Those days, the synthesizers were incredible expensive and not affordable to me, and there wasn't even one in '69. You couldn't buy it somewhere, and so I got myself an organ, and then I put myself away in a villa and studied for my own, trying to forget everything what I've learned from piano, just to find new things, new sounds, new harmonies, which I never heard. I was just about to making very music for another reason, not for enjoy other people or for enjoy myself. I just wanted to find something. The idea was to travel with music to outer space, you know, and this was my intention to leave this planet making the right sound. I will leave this planet and go to another place which I would love more. That was my intention somehow.
I got you. I got you. I got you. And at the time you knew, obviously that was before you joined Tangerine Dream from the Alpha Centauri and Zeit album in 71. Where you knew who Tangerine Dream was when you were living in Berlin at the
Yes, I heard them, but I didn't know the name. I just saw Tangerine Dream 67 on the Essener Songtage.
time?
And you heard of the Essener Songtage for sure.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, okay. And you heard of this strange concert they gave there in the Essener Songtage.
No, no, no. I don't know. I
Oh,
know the
okay,
concert.
I
No,
tell you,
the concert.
this
No, I don't know.
was a very political scene those days in 67, 68. I myself was a student in the 68 movement in Germany. But in 67, there was this festival, Essener Songtage,
Yeah.
and there were many political students teaching, reading, speaking, and some musicians like Zappa and very left-wing groups, like to say, you know.
Yeah.
And when Tangerine Dream were playing, this political students, they couldn't stand it somehow. This quiet sounds, and things, obviously not people saying, "Yeah, kill the president" or something like this, you know, but
Yeah.
just making very silent music. So they just stood up and said, "Wow, this is shit. We don't want to hear it." And they cut the wires of the loudspeakers, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so suddenly there was no silence. This is the way how I noticed. I was in the room, you know, and in the venue, and suddenly I hear, "Wow, there's no sound anymore." I really loved the sound, so to say. I was there for the music, not for political statements, you know.
Sure.
But then I cut the wires and say, "Well, we have to be. This is a political thing, you know. We have to put statements and not make music." But Tangerine Dream, they just moved to front of stage and they moved on acoustically,
Yeah.
like a cappella singing, you know.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This was the idea of. I remember that when we played Alpha Centauri for the recordings of Alpha Centauri, you know, there's a chorus.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember them. This is your tradition, you know, somehow to sing a chorus, and so they really liked it. And yeah, and this was the first time I saw them, and so I didn't know really about Tangerine Dream. That this was group was called Tangerine Dream, I didn't know, or I forgot from '67. So after this, I told you before in Berlin. Then I tried to forget everything, and I just had the organ and being with myself in a very far away from the city villa in a room on my own, just like a eremit, you know.
Yeah.
From there, I moved back, and then I had my own group in Berlin, which was called Turning Free. There were many groups with the word free in their name. You know,
Agitation free
agitation
and then
free, yeah, yeah. And some other groups I don't remember, and we were called like Turning Free. And but this was not really something happening or something new to me, and then I was somehow to made a very good experience in moving to Finland in Helsinki. I had another, let's say, like yeah, experience like India, you know, in Helsinki, which made something to my mind very much expanding. And so when I came back to Berlin, I thought now in Helsinki I got some inspiration from space, let's say, you know, like vision or so. And in Berlin I thought I have to. I heard somehow in myself that this group Tangerine Dream, they wanted somebody to play with them, you know. They just so I don't remember this everything how it worked, but then I went to a record store and I listened to some music, and I
yeah.
listened to electronic meditation as well. And I asked this guy from the record store, "Okay, who's that?" And he said, "Yeah, wow, that's Edgar Froese, and yeah, he lives here," and gave me an address. And then I went there, but and I said, "Wow, Edgar, I'm here, your new organist, you know, playing the organ for you."
You told him that?
Yeah, I told him that. I just rang the bell, you know, and he looked down and, "Hey, I'm your new organist." And he said, "Yeah, oh yeah, I come down, I come down."
Yeah.
He came down, you know, fourth floor, and he said, "How do you know that? We drove up with the elevator and so. Who told you?" I said, "I just had a calling from outer space. You know, space telling me you need someone, and I'm the one you need."
You're talking wow.
Yes.
So and then and then at the time was Christopher Franke to it, right? Or no?
Yeah, he was there as well. Just 2 days ago, Edgar had met Christopher,
Yeah.
and so we after this meeting, the next day we were all together, like Christopher, Edgar, and me.
Got you. And that's where you went to the studio and recorded what the first one was Alpha Centauri, right?
Oh yeah, the studio was much later. I didn't think of studio then. It was more like I really loved the way how Edgar did music. You know, the first session in the practice room was the most amazing thing. You know,
Yeah.
like he did. We closed the light totally, and there were no lights in this cellar room, and he said no talking, no talking, and just let's listen to the silence and go into the silence of everything, and then if there is something, it will come out, you know.
Sure.
This was really amazing. We don't know anything about what will come out, and we didn't intend to make something, you know. We just were very passive people, you know, and this was how I was looking on the music I made with Tangerine Dream. It was always in a very passive way. I only had to react on the things which came from space to me, you know. This organ was not an organ to play the keys. It just was a case with let's say a precedent. There was tapes inside, you know, tapes with the music. I don't know. You had to activate the tapes, which was
Yeah.
the music, which was was already in this instrument. You
Yeah.
know, it's very maybe a childish thought. You know, it came out from my first experience with space music was in my piano times with 6 7 years. I made my piano with scales, everything out of wood. I made myself, you know, and so it looked like a spaceship, you know, the piano. And when I was moving this thing for the candles, which are inside of the piano, you know, I thought I was moving with my spaceship, and I made the sounds to it, you know. This was my first contact with space music, let's say.
Got you.
You know, it was
Uh,
very early.
and then you guys before recording Alpha Centauri and Zeit, you toured for a while or you went?
Yes, we made some concerts before that.
Yeah.
Especially there's a very famous concert, the Flipper concert for Austrian TV.
I don't know. I don't know that. Maybe that is on YouTube. I don't know that one.
You never heard that one? No,
No.
it was a thing for we had um, pinball
Yeah.
pinball machines,
Yeah.
and we were making they were automatically thrown in with the balls, and to this sound was mixed with what we did to them.
Got you.
Was a live concert, special one, somehow art music.
And at the time, yeah, stay there. The image, yeah, they light it much better. And then when you guys record the Alpha Centauri and Zeit, was the band selling a lot of records at the time? people were buying vinyl at that time, yeah, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The I don't know about the electronic meditation, and for me it was just like, oh, we go make a vinyl. It was nothing special, you know, something like this. I found everything very normal. What happened to me, you know, just go
Yeah.
there, make a record. But the process was really not so good for me. For this process of now being in time now, right now at the moment, to create something extraordinary uh, is something you have to get used to somehow. When you go there in first with the improvisation spirit, and your thoughts of music coming from outer space, and settling in the right environment,
Yeah.
in the right mode with the brains, you know, and not just like on with a snap from the engineer. Now do it, you know.
Sure. Very different
This was
feeling, right?
so strange to me, and very I couldn't really handle it.
And that's why after 2 albums, why you decided to
No, it was just after this
leave?
album. It was after the first Alpha Centauri, right after when we made the mix in the studio. We were the second time in the studio just for doing the mix,
Yeah.
and we had this synthesizer from London. You know, Tangerine Dream that days didn't have have a synthesizer on their own. There was a special guy from EMS coming from London.
Yeah.
I remember this always. And he had this small case, one of the first EMS synthesizers, you know. And on one day we just recording the sounds on top of the music we made. And to be honest, I didn't like it too much. The first sound with the synthesizers and okay. And
So
yeah, and
and
soon I always thought about this album, Alpha Centauri. It's not that what I intended to do. You know, this is I didn't move 1 meter away from Earth with this album, so there was no success in bringing me away from this planet somehow. And I thought I have to try other things. And I left the studio with the intention to go to Paris. You know, with a to study like with Pierre Henry, who was in the Electronic Institute in Paris, try to do other things to see that. So I left this place in the studio, and I've been off. And the Tangerine, they didn't know where I was, or I didn't let them know, and so it took like a half a year for me to come back to Berlin. And then I heard of, wow, there's a record has come out. It's in the record stores, and
your name was on it. Yeah.
yeah, and my name was on it, so I was okay. And I was what was very important for the producer Rolf Kaiser. He put me in GEMA and everything, so he put me my way right in my life in normal things. So without him, I never would have brought this to an serious musician's
Sure.
state in social life. You see.
Gotcha. And then how you went from there to then eventually you end up joining Ra Temple with Timothy Leary and working the 7 Up album. How they came up together?
Okay, it's after Alpha Centauri and halfway back in Berlin for sure. Edgar told me, "Wow, you're back! It's great." But meanwhile, we had to get another organist, you know. So you two have to be with the next recording. For sure, he wanted me for Zeit as well.
Yeah.
For there was such amazing progress with Alpha Centauri. When I came back half a year later, it was the record of the year in Germany. Alpha
Wow.
Centauri, yeah.
My God, man. So, I thought he was mad at you because when you left, you went to Paris without telling anybody. Edgar Froese was asking, where is this guy? Where is Steve? Where is Steve? I cannot find him anywhere in Germany.
I'm quite sure he was, but they didn't. Just had to find. They even searched for my family in my own village, but they
Yeah,
they didn't know where I was. But
yeah.
he got my wild dates for. He didn't know my birthday as well,
Yeah. Oh
and it's
my God.
written on the record. You know, it says some uh, combination of numbers which telling. Okay, this is then was Zeit. This was before Ra Tempel, so we have to talk about Zeit anyway.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
And this was really horrible. I think the recording of Zeit for then there was this challenge between Baumann. You know, there was something like a challenge. I didn't like this. You know, in music, in space music, you know, we all make it together somehow. And now suddenly there was a musician's challenge. Who's the better one? Who's the one who plays better sound? You know, I couldn't handle this, as well as the studio situation. And now after this sensation with the pop hall in Germany, with Alpha Centauri being such a good record, they're going to be ambitious now. You know, ambitious to make it even better or somehow. It was a horrible situation, and what I liked in with the Zeit studio, it was meeting Florian Fricke from
Popol Vuh.
Popol Vuh.
Yeah. Florian Frick. Yeah. He was very famous too. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was there, and I met him before, even with his girlfriend, and we had a great time just together in the studio, and just with the two of us playing some music together in this special room we had. And seeing all the other people running nervously around, you know, for just this long note with the string quartet on the first side. It took one day for recording one note, you know, and all this synthesizer stuff was really new. Franke, meanwhile, had bought the big Moog system,
Yeah.
and we had part of it there in the studio, and they didn't know what it was about. You know, they just were trying out some things, and so you hear very not so many Moog systems on the first time of the Zeit. This came later, so. Yeah, so after Zeit, it was obvious that I won't be more in the group. For sure, I didn't like it to be. Yeah, it was not the how you say today chemistry between the people and me anymore. And I had a friend. I mean, I had already. We wanted to make another group called Scarecrow later. And you never heard of that?
No.
Okay. This was John L., who was a singer with Ra Tempel on Schwingungen. And he already was planned for doing the record with Tim Leary as well, and but Asher Temple too were looking for an electronic musician too and an organist, and so he asked me, "Hey, what about doing this with Tim Leary and so this record?" And oh well, yeah, for sure, I really like it. I'm a fan of Tim Leary, and so of course I like to do this. It looks very nice, and so it came together. I just moved to. We made some rehearsals in Berlin with Asher Temple, and then all the people were going to Switzerland, like a bunch of 15, 20 people from Berlin, everybody around the group
Yeah.
went their way to Switzerland to do the record. And many of the musicians, they are not on the end thing for. Somehow this recording was really challenging.
The
You know,
seven up.
yeah, for sure. We had LSD before that, and it was not a common experience. Everybody had his own experience somehow, and which differed very much from horror to delight in between the many people. And so you had human drama all the time.
Yeah.
And fun of course, and very great session, which is on the second side. You know this record good?
Yeah, I know the album. Very well known album.
Okay, on the space side, this is taken in one take,
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't
and
know.
this was great. And the only thing which was clear, that the producer Rolf Kaiser, he came after we recorded this, and we're sitting there very delighted and calm and satisfied. He came in, yeah, people now let's do music, go on, Like, he wanted to play more and more and more of that. But it was this what we have done, and so.
Yeah. How did you get along well with at the time with Manuel Goshin? Was nice to work with him as well.
Yeah, but I spent more time with Hartmut Enke, the
Yeah.
bass player.
Yeah.
We were really good friends, and when we were back in Berlin, there was these days there was something between Hartmut and Manuel. So Hartmut didn't like anymore to play in Asher Temple. He more liked to play in my group together with John L.,
Yeah.
the singer from Asher Temple before, and not to play with Manuel anymore. So after the Switzerland, he moved all his equipment to my flat, and we made music there, and he was just fine, enjoying it what we did. You know how Hartmut left Asher Temple, or how his last concert?
No, no.
He later they came together again, to make it short, after he tried to leave, but my group was really chaotic. You have to imagine, what I was very. My intention was not to make some commercial thing, or to build up a band who make concerts or that. This music was different for me. I made music for space reasons. I wanted to live in other worlds and create other things in my mind, and so this always was not. This commercial thing was never in my mind somehow. So I reacted very unnaturally to common musicians, let's say.
Yeah. You didn't want to do the commercial. You didn't want to do the
Yeah,
commercial aspect. More. kind of cosmic and out of space, like you mentioned, kind of connections.
Yeah, and want to live in the music, and only this in the events, making live music together with people, and yeah, to fly
And,
away, and this things like that.
and then later on, you formed, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Augustern with Gene Cross, right?
Augenstern, Gene
Yeah.
Gross, yeah.
How you pronounce it?
Augenstern,
Oh, wait, always okay. Yeah. Oh,
Augenstern, yeah.
yeah. That was you guys did have success with that, right?
Fun?
You guys have success. You guys did well with the band, right?
Yeah. This was it was amazing for Gene Ross. Actually, he played in Scarecrow as well, and when I moved from Berlin to Freiburg later, he followed me to Freiburg and to form this electronic duo. But it took us years and years, about let's say 8 years to make our first concert then also. For sure, in those days, what was a bit more complicated to do electronic music concerts.
Yeah.
You would have to move all the synthesizers, which were not really in tune. We didn't have so much synthesizers, so many self-built stuff. I built it myself in that days. I learned how to handle electronics, so and to handle solder iron. So
Oh wow.
I built some of the stuff my own, and I just had this mini Moog those days, and all around it self-built stuff, and Augenstern. So we had 8 years. We didn't, and then we put out a cassette, and it worked somehow. People loved it.
Yeah.
Especially in new age
Yeah.
situations and esoteric workshops, and so they love this music for. I said, okay, yeah, this is a compromise somehow for. Anyway, I love to do space music, but I don't do meditation music. Why, But, somehow it was easier more to see it's good, when people
Yeah.
listen and play your music. So, and then we had this like a tour with and we had concerts, and we made another tape, and then at least we had this coming all the tapes out on CD, and some really. What I regret very much is we have a whole record recorded, so much nice Augenstern music. I love this very much. When you hear my music, all of this these special groups, Augenstern is very special for it. It has a very nicely, heartly effect. It's sweet music somehow.
Yeah.
In
Absolutely.
very special things. You don't have to fear anything. What I often feel in my music, that it's very dangerous somehow, sometimes, and but not for Augenstern. This
Yeah.
was only, and this is mostly of my friend Günther, which is retired now since 10 years.
And then Edgar Froese, did he call you back? Did he say, man, this guy did well with Astro Temple? Then he formed his own group. He didn't want you back with Tangerine Dream, or you never talked to him anymore after that? Or
Edgar?
yeah, with Edgar, yeah. He didn't want to bring you back to Tangerine Dream?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I heard some. I met him very in the 70s. I met his group when he was with Steve Schroyder and
yeah.
Robbie and Krieger on drums. You know that days.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I don't know
must be
him.
around 76, 78 or something like this.
Yeah.
Krieger on drums and Steve Joliffe on flute, voice and keyboards. Yeah, it was strange for me. In Alpha Centauri, drums were cancelled. That was the last time when Christopher Franke played drums
Yeah,
on Alpha Centauri. Afterwards, he just played synthesizer. And now in 78, there are drums back in Tangerine Dream.
yeah, yeah,
I was thinking, wow, what's that? And Edgar staying in front of a crowd of very young people like a pop star. They say, wow, what's Tangerine Dream? And then backstage, Edgar said me, oh, wow, what do you think about it?
yeah.
I thought, wow, yeah, no, it's good, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Are you still in touch with Christopher for Christopher Frankie or no? No.
No, I never been in touch with Christopher. I think he's very hard to keep in touch with. For he's somebody how far away in Los Angeles,
Yeah,
and
he's in Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm trying to find him. Yeah, I cannot find him.
no, I think it's impossible. He's not very communicative people,
Yeah, yeah,
and it wasn't like Edgar. For Edgar, is very friendly and
yeah, yeah,
always available, let's say.
yeah,
But Christopher never was available for something.
yeah. And also
Very
Peter Bauman. To Peter Bauman, it's difficult to find him.
yeah, for sure.
He formed different record labels and private music and
Yeah,
all that stuff, and he became famous, and he closed the communication to everybody.
yeah, it's like Christopher. Yeah, that's like they did. I
Yeah,
don't know why, but yeah, it's a sign.
yeah. And
So
then and then later on in your life, right? You founded the Star Sound Orchestra.
yeah,
That's very interesting stuff. I don't have any album, but I was listening to some of the tracks on Spotify and YouTube. It's very good stuff. Very different, but very good.
yeah. This is very uh, big from ambient music to
Yeah,
psychedelic trance. It's very far. Uh, what we did in music, Star Sounds Orchestra. Yeah, it derives from a meeting with Hans Cousteau, who's the main head around the cosmic octave. The things to. All the years I was looking for something like a bass note for doing cosmic music, which is somehow related physically with space, and Cousteau, he gave me the first expression for doing that in the way he accounted the rhythms of the planet by their period surrounding the sun,
yeah,
which is a movement you can translate to a note and to a rhythm. And so he said, wow, this planet has this frequency and this rhythm, this planet this one, the Earth this one. So there are all relationship between physical movements in space and music. So this gave me a big security in a way to doing that music. Now I don't have to imagine now which note I take. I just say, okay, I take this note to connect to this resonance sphere, and this is a way maybe to progress in my intention, like moving to space on notes.
yeah. I got you. Yeah,
And
and
so
then
this and my Jens Züger, the gong player, he was too in this stuff in the same, and so Hans Cousteau brought us together in this formation, which was very lucky for he played no electronic instrument, he just played gongs
yeah,
and hand drum, and I had all this electronic stuff and played no natural instrument, let's say. So there were two big spheres meeting each other and connecting somehow. The acoustic, very ancient way of making music, out of ancient times. There's the sound of the gongs and the very new sound of electronic instruments. So there was a fusion which was very, many things came out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you play there with I think the drummer and gong player Jen Seeger, right? Gong at the time was popular as well, right? So it was a good combination, I think, right?
Yeah.
Playing together. And then now we're going back to 214. Then you form Dream Control with Zeus Hill. That's a very 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 funk and very funky stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's electronic music with a bunch of other stuff, and it's very different. You've been in since what 8 years now, right? With from Dream Control, right?
Dream Control is now, yeah, it's really 7 years now, I think.
Yeah. How you guys doing with that?
It's great. It's my friend Zeus. He played with Birth Control. You know this band from Germany.
Yeah. You send me the link, and I look in YouTube and look. There's a lot of stuff in YouTube. So I was
And so it's a meeting of two guys who were in the same time
yeah
uh, with a zeitgeist feeling, from the 60s. We were making important stuff somehow for many people.
yeah
And now it's another fusion of these stuff, of the German rock element with the German electronic ambient, and meeting together after 40, 50 years, it was. And we lived together in the same town, like 400 meters away.
really.
Yeah, he lives right there, 400 meters away from me.
Wow. Of course, and you end up meeting many years after that, right? You didn't know him at the time, right?
No, we heard of each other. We knew who we are, but we didn't know this situation.
Gotcha. Yeah. I have listened to the Control. Very very interesting stuff. Very interesting. And I was
I see it's very dark, no?
when you were
Yeah.
sitting right there, right there. If you stay there, the lights is good. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was listening some of the track for last night, and what's called Venus di Monaco. And then Cassin Drive.
Cassini Drive, of the
Yeah,
star sounds from the
the
Cosmic Octave
Cosmic.
Orchestra.
Yeah, that is very interesting stuff, man.
That's great. Yeah, for this is the last coming out of the Ricochet
Yeah,
gathering scene. Since 2000. Victor Reck.
no, I
He
hear
made
about
this.
the Ricochet gathering. Oh,
Yeah,
feel free
he
to
made
elaborate
this
on.
since 2001, and I think it was 2002 when he invited me for the second or third one in Okefenokee in Georgia, and I really like this idea of musicians coming together in the spirit of Tangerine Dream, or people who followed them in making music, inviting musicians and inviting guests to support this gathering. I love this idea really much, and I think I was the first professional to be there, musician, but
Yeah,
soon after, years later, there were many other professional musicians to join our meeting, and then 10 years later we did this last event in Berlin. And this was really amazing and great in the Schöneberger Rathaus, near the place where Tangerine Dream had actually made their music. Yeah,
and
and on this
so
way there was this. This is a group formed out of the Ricochet gathering, you know, just
Oh, I see. I got you right. I need to look in the internet. There is that the Ricochet is once a year, right? It's still going on with the Ricochet.
no, the last one was in 2010.
Oh, I got you. They should continue. That was good if there was success. And
Yeah, there's such a bunch of music we made,
yeah,
and still nobody is able to put this on CD. So there are only just a few excerpts from all the stuff like Cassini Drive and the concerts from Berlin.
and where
Oh,
as there are no CD, are there stores somewhere you have copies of the stuff?
pardon?
Any way to be? They are not going to be released in CD. There's no interest. Or?
Yeah, but there's this Ricochet. We somehow Victor had a label and all the CDs we made. But someone I can give you the address. You know if you're interested in
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I
I
will
think
send
it's
you an email. I
still.
will send you an email. Yeah, I would love to listen. I mean, maybe there is some way to be released on CD and on either Bandcamp or Spotify, and then you can make a little bit of money there. You know.
Yeah, but it would be great. But you know, from Polish musicians, you know, you don't know about Polish musicians.
No, no, no.
This was amazing time to meet musicians from Poland.
Yeah.
For there was you surely heard of the how was it called? Okay. So Vic lives in Poland today, and
I heard the name when I was listening to some stuff on YouTube, and of course I knew that was yeah kind of
I will make you connect. I will connect you with
yeah.
him. For he's very for he's not a producer anymore. He's just a friend of electronic music,
Yeah.
and but he made all the things possible. So he invested money, you know, to bring us all together. And for sure, you know, there's always a question of money to do things like this, which have no commercial interest. So, but we went to such amazing places, and there's such amazing music with,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
with great musicians. So you really should listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I wonder if they can the Ricochet gathering. I need to look into internet how many there were, but would be great to do one another. It's too bad that obviously Edgar passed away, but there 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 are so many good electronic musicians in Berlin, and for like we talked from Manuel Goshin, from Michael Honing, Michael Hamel, yourself, and all the other people from Tangerine Dream, and other people that never belonged to Tangerine Dream, or people from Ra Temple, Agitation Free, and there are so many good people. Will be good to if it were up to me, right? I will find everybody and do like I would call it Berlin gathering, and do it in Berlin, in the plaza in Berlin.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
would, I would do it if it would up to me, and do 3 days of electronic music in Berlin. Talk
yeah,
to the city and then put it together. Maybe I would do it.
okay.
And talk to Manuel Goy, talk to everybody, man. I think it will be, I don't know, maybe some success. I don't know, but will be.
Yeah, the one I'm in contact with is Harald Groskopf.
I interviewed him, Harold. Yeah, a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
3 weeks ago. He's a
he's
very nice.
very nice.
He's a very nice person. I like Harold. Yeah, he's.
You know him, huh?
Yeah, of course, I interviewed him a couple, like, like 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks. And he
I see.
sent me a lot of music, and I bought music for him. I have several. album autograph. And he's a very good person too. He's a very good guy. And yeah, there's a lot of very good music. Like everybody, like the capital. I don't know, the capital electronic music. Maybe I don't know. Maybe, but will be good
Capital.
too. I don't know. But that's
What?
because capital of electronic music. I mean, because there's so many, good musicians there. And so many record stores, in Berlin too. Yeah. Do you plan to kind of the last three questions? I'm quite sure we can talk for hours and hours. So we need to do like a part. This is part one, Steve. We need to do like a part two
Yeah, for sure.
on a part two because I want to do like as I say, I'm trying still to get a hold of people from I don't know, Popol Vuh. Um,
Popol
there,
Vuh, that
yeah, there are
will
two
be
people. I
hard to
think there are
find.
two people alive.
I think
Uh,
there are, I'm sure two are dead.
yeah, two are there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know.
I think I forgot the name at this moment, but the drummer who is with was Amol Dul. I need to look at his name, and yeah, will be that music. Probably music was very very good, and I'm happy that Werner Herzog ended up using his music. It's
Yeah.
pretty good stuff. So what are your plans for in the near future, Steve? You plan on touring with Dream Control, doing some gigs, release a new album? What is new coming out for Steve?
Um, it's all ongoing, Star Sounds Orchestra is now Star Sounds Continuum.
Yeah,
For I'm not together with the gong player anymore. Too
yeah.
much differences and
Split ways.
split, yeah. But continuing this with a continuum,
Yeah,
with a singer and guitarist, and this is more like ambient and psychedelic trance. We had some concerts this year. They were all cancelled, like in Spain, in Great Britain, and there's just one left. Maybe I hope still it's in Lithuania in 1 month. I still want to go on with this group. This is the heritage of the Star Sounds Orchestra. Just somehow keeping it on
yeah.
in one meaning, in my meaning of Star Sounds Orchestra, to keep that on. Then I have for sure my solo projects with the alien voices, with the singers, overtone singers.
No, I don't know that.
You don't know that I have to send you a record or a
Yeah,
CD
yeah.
or something.
I will send you a separate email because I'm very interested in getting copy of everything you have done, so I can play it on the radio. In one of the radios, I have one radio, Andromeda Sounds. It's just dedicated to electronic music. Just dedicated, and I will send you a link. And I'm very interested in getting copy and stuff because I want to listen to your stuff. But so you would plan to do that, and what about with Dream Control? You will continue with Dream Control as well?
Yes, for sure. Our intention now is to do this very good, and it's new for us. Like you've seen our video stuff
Of
from.
course, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Well, they're very funky.
yeah, this is quite new.
Yeah, yeah,
Intention to a pleasure to do videos with sound. It's very much fun for me, and so I really like to do this. And now with this film about Freiburg, we're trying to make a serious DVD, something for our town, and
yeah,
so to complete it in a good way, not only
yeah.
just for live, just for a product.
Yeah, of course,
This
yeah,
is the plan, and for sure the Dream Control plans for are not so. It's always surrounded about this project. We see what's happening after this. So we have no intentions for, and we play what we get. You
Yeah, no,
know,
you
last time it was little hut in Black Forest in last autumn.
yeah.
We played there Dream Control for sure. It was only chance to play live last year. There in open air, just in the forest, and this was great. I really love to do just things to. Sorry, I have to. I surely answer the phone. Yeah, okay.
Sure. Yeah, take your time. The record. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Uh,
you need to. Yeah, you mentioned that there's a possibility of touring again in Lithuania and other places, and
yeah,
yeah, will be great, man. Will be great. We
and
need.
in September there's another project with. Yeah, actually, with one guy from Cassini Drive, Bert Olke from Berlin, Spürer, you know Spürer, Wolfram der Spürer.
No.
These are all very famous electronic musicians of the second area from the 80s, you know, which were derived the
You need to
the
send me an
students
email.
of the Berlin school.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, but you need to send me an email with all the name because I wanna interview everybody, man.
Okay, yeah, these are nice people. And Rainer von Vielen, he's amazing musicians, and Udo Leis, he's an art very in touch with Documenta in Kassel. You heard of Documenta? It's
No.
a famous art exhibition happening all 5 years. It's the main art exposition in Germany.
Where?
Happening
Which city?
Kassel.
Where is that? No. But what kind of
It's
art is that? What kind of art is that? It's a painting or
everything like Documenta,
yeah,
like sculptures, painting,
everything.
yeah, video art. Very
I,
progressive and always very foreseeing of the time in their times, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, that's in Kassel.
yeah. I need to
That's
look it up.
Documenta. Okay, and this another group we formed just 3 years or 4 years ago. We only went by concert. We only met for a concert, and that's what is it called 70 dB. And this other guys, he who's the art in the group, artist, he's playing bells, church bells.
Yeah.
And this was a special thing to bring the church bells from Kassel to Berlin, like 4 big church bells, you know. Had to,
How they allow it to do it?
that these were he bought the bells,
Oh,
and they were just on a dump for iron. There were bells from the war, you know,
yeah.
like very old and just made of iron, not of bronze. So very cheap and somehow thrown away.
Ah,
And he bought them, and so you don't need a allowance for it. You just he just bought them, and they belong to him. But we had to carry them to Berlin and bring them there on the stage, and that was really the most challenging thing in this whole event. Yeah,
yeah. Got you. Wow, interesting. Man, you have so many stories to tell, Steve, man. What should we
for
gotta
sure.
do? We need to do like a part 2, part 3, part 4, and everything, man.
And this group will hopefully it will happen. We play in September, even open air somewhere out in the woods in Kassel.
Does it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I will, I need to check it out. I need to check it out all the other names that you mentioned. But Steve, was very, very nice talking to you. I will send you a link to the video when we're done, and then follow up with email because I'm very interested in getting your music and playing the music in the radio. And you know, getting a hold some of the names you mentioned here, so I can interview and bring it here to the and. But we need to do like a part two, man, and I want to do a Berlin gathering, my friend.
Yes, that would be great.
You know, I need to get a hold of people. You know,
Get in touch with Vic. I think
with Vic, yeah,
he still wants to do something again. You know, for sure
yeah,
he's but someday he fell from a tree and broke his leg, and you know this was concerning him the last 2 years. So bad things happened in between, but he still
interested in
really
doing.
likes to do something like the old Ricochet gathering. For this was such a good thing, you know. It brought musicians together to play. Not as I told you before, like um, sometimes it's hard, you know, when you try to express something and you don't find the words. In
Yeah,
compare situations, you don't have people comparing each others, but just playing together.
that's
And
right.
that
Yeah,
for
yeah,
electronic musicians who know these are people who just sit there in their room and are very silent and
no,
like to be alone in their space and
yeah,
not trying to spread their ideas, you know, and not to share their ideas with others, you know.
yeah,
These there are such kind of people,
yeah,
and
and of
then
course,
bringing them together in a
bring it
common
together.
space and bringing them to make music together, you know. This is your thing and you together, and this not you and you and you. This is just
Glenn
we, you
Greenberg, yeah,
know. This
and
is
of
so
course,
great.
yeah, and of course, Edgar is not with us anymore, but maybe I can convince Jerome Froese, Jerome, his son, to play. You know, in honor of his dad, and of course, you know, I interviewed Thorsten, and I'm trying to get a hold of Yoshiko. I interview Ulrich too. Ulrich is very nice schnauz, very good people. You know, it will be good to have a 3 days gathering with, you know, like three bands in the morning, two in the morning, two in the afternoon, two in the morning, and then like 2 3 days. You know,
For sure I have to add something
yeah, go ahead,
in meaning of Edgar.
yeah,
I think you want to know what kind of person, you know.
yeah,
And so I always honor him for that. I told you about our meeting with a band but then later in the 80s I came together with him again in Berlin.
yeah,
Just I wanted to buy some instruments and he could give them a bit cheaper to me. So I met him in Berlin. And after the meeting, uh, I phoned him back from Freiburg. I said, I will need a MIDI keyboard. I need a MIDI keyboard somehow. I want to add that. And he said, no, wait. What do you think of Memory Moog? I said, wow, Memory Moog is a great thing, you know, but it's no MIDI keyboard.
sure,
And he said, yeah, let's try. Wait a moment. I will give you my Memory Moog for free, you know.
wow,
So that's a way to honor your being with me in the for Alpha Centauri time. You never get something out of it, you know. I
yeah,
never got something really out of it beside GEMA,
yeah.
and so
That was a good gesture, you know.
that was amazing gesture. Especially as you mentioned, Jerome. Jerome later told me some years ago. Ah, yeah, you were the one to get the memory MOOC. You know what my father told me. He regretted this.
And now it's in your house. Yeah,
For he had this PBG
yeah,
synthesizer he gave to someone. He had the memory MOOC he gave to someone. And another thing I don't know anymore. Maybe something like a string orchestra or something like that. And he said, wow, these were such instruments. Why did I give them away?
yeah. Yeah.
But
I think,
I still love this gesture, this
of
memory
course, yeah.
move.
I never had the opportunity. I saw Tangerine Dream twice in my life, and with Edgar, I never have the opportunity, obviously, to interview him. Nowadays, I don't know what it is, but nowadays, with the Tangerine Dream now, it's a lot of friction. It's a lot of, I think Jerome, I don't know if it's correct or not, but maybe doesn't get along with the new people, and I don't know. I don't know who.
Jerome is out of Tangerine Dream.
Yeah, of course, I know but he
Yeah,
doesn't get along that well with the
I
new
think
people.
he's right. He's very right.
Yeah, and I think Edgar Froese, Edgar's second wife, took ownership of the name, Tangerine Dream, registered trademark, and doesn't want to have anything to do with that. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or
Yeah,
not.
yeah. She doesn't want to have, especially with me. They don't want to have to do. These were very dark days of Tangerine Dream, maybe they call it,
Yeah, yeah, I don't
the
know.
dark hell days of Tangerine Dream.
Yeah, I
I
got
don't
you.
know. I can imagine, the way they act somehow. They never cared and always, let's say they don't support me somehow.
Yeah. Well, we need to bring everybody together into Berlin gatherings 2022. That's what I will try to do. I will try. Okay, Steve, it was very nice talking to you.
Claudio, yeah, it was nice talking to you.
I will send you a link to the recording, and then I would love to get some music and to play on the radio, and then we need to do a follow-up interview, like part 2 and part 3. I do like a big documentary, all the German musicians. I'm German, I can't. My ancestor came from Germany. I don't speak any German, but maybe I will need to learn between now and then.
So when is it you come to Switzerland, Claudio?
I will try in the fall. Very likely I will try to get there because
In the
as
fall.
as I say, and definitely we'll get together. I will. Harold, as a matter of fact, Harold's always inviting me to Germany, and I need to visit Hermann Hesse's grave, Nietzsche's grave, and visit Basel, to visit the Carl Gustav Jung grave. He was an amazing guy, man. He was a very good psychologist. Way ahead of his time. So I need to
And
I need to
okay,
visit his grave.
okay. And
Okay,
remember when you're in Basel, Switzerland,
yeah, to
you're
find.
only 60 kilometers away from me, and
I
I
will find.
invite you to come to my place, and
Yeah,
see me.
thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Quite sure.
Okay, don't
You come
forget.
to the United States, you can do the same. Come to Washington D.C. to play. Well, you're invited here to my house, man.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much, Steve. Have a great afternoon, man.
Yeah, you too. Have a
Appreciate it.
great
Thank you.
morning.
You too. Thank
Bye.
you. Happy Father's Day, Steve. Here.